Only because I like Fragrance du Bois and Demi Rawling doesn't mean that I'm going to praise this fragrance to heaven. Now I'm gonna make myself very unpopular. Is this fragrance worth $300? Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I am Karim, channel name Smell of Truth, and thank you so much for passing by. Today with the review on my French is shit. Fragrance du Bois Minuit et Demi. So the collaboration between Demi Rawling, the perfume influencer, and Fragrance du Bois, the luxurious niche house. Fragrance du Bois, fragrance, this sounds so crappy. I'm just gonna say Fragrance du Bois, okay? I'm really sorry. Only because I like Fragrance du Bois and Demi Rawling doesn't mean that I'm going to praise this fragrance to heaven and tell you to get 10 bottles of this, otherwise I'm going to hunt you down and murder your entire family.
I will send you to Jesus.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stay humble. I'm gonna tell you the facts that I get. I'm gonna tell you my experience on this fragrance. I'm gonna give you reasons and you judge based on these reasons, based on these facts and everything, if you want to get a bottle or not. Based on the notes, you can already get in what kind of direction this fragrance is going. It is a more sweet, cozy, warm, spicy, gourmand-ish fragrance.
Sexy, sweet, yummy.
At the top, you might get more freshness. In the mid, you have more sweet and coffee and some spices. And in the base, you might get some musky and some woody notes. Besides that, it is actually quite linear. It's not really a linear fragrance, but the DNA is linear. The DNA stays kind of. This is the purpose of a DNA. Before everyone says Karim called this one a linear fragrance, this fragrance is very well blended, very smooth, very elegant and sexy, man. This fragrance is sexy to me, okay?
Sexy, edible masterpiece.
I crave my gourmand fragrances. I crave my spicy fragrances, and sometimes I do appreciate a good coffee note. This has all that stuff combined, so how am I supposed to not love this fragrance? Based on the high quality and that it is so well blended and very smooth and elegant, it gives me a very luxurious feeling while wearing it. So before we start here, I just want to mention, for the sake that I didn't bought this fragrance new, I bought it from someone that didn't want it anymore, and therefore this fragrance already had time to macerate. It is actually over a year old if you check the batch code. Let's get to the performance, and now I'm gonna make myself very unpopular, because I'm gonna say something that no one is going to believe me. No one is going to believe me. I got 12 hours of longevity with Minuit et Demi. This is just my experience. I'm not saying that you will get 12 hours as well. This is my experience. I guess my skin on that day or in general just works very well with these kind of fragrances. And I even asked people around me if they were noticing the fragrance as well.
I just want to snuggle my nose into.
They said yes, but it's not so strong anymore. The projection is good for 3 to 4 hours. After that, it leans closer to the skin, and what you're left is, if you spray on the side and on the back of your neck, obviously, and maybe on clothes, on the chest or whatever, half a meter away, you will spread sneaky whiffs around you. Especially if you do some fast movements, taking something from the left and putting it to the right, for example. In general, if you have warm skin and your skin actually gets a bit of heat and you actually start sweating a little bit, the fragrance is actually going to project very good in general, even after the 3-hour mark. The 3 to 4 hour mark was just based on being in a normal environment at 20-25 degrees Celsius. Obviously, I mostly wore this fragrance when I was at work. The sillage is actually really good for the first 3 to 4 hours. Again, after that, it gets closer to your skin, doesn't really project far, doesn't really leave a great sillage anymore. Unless you have a heated body temperature, of course. In my opinion, Minuit et Demi just screams cozy date night. If you're having a cozy date night where you're also going to cuddle or
doing some freaky stuff with daddy's little girl.
You can also get away with it in fall and winter time, but again, if you have heated skin, if you're not always cold, the fragrance is going to project. What I tried to tell you guys is in general with fragrances, but especially with this one, it is not strong enough to survive cold weather, and especially not if you're always cold or always in a cold environment. Make sure to have warm skin and to be somewhere where it is a bit warmer, so you will get a good longevity. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel and activate the bell to not miss out on any great content anymore. Give this video a thumb up if you like what you see so far, and comment down below your opinion on Minuit et Demi. My personal opinion, is this fragrance worth $300? In my opinion, yes. Because look, for you, a fragrance maybe is not that special. You rather go out and spend hundreds of dollars on a Adidas and Balenciaga sweater that will cost you the double or triple amount of Fragrance du Bois. I would rather spend that money on fragrances, because fragrances to me are more important than designer clothes. I personally have a passion for fragrances, and that's why I see the worth in this. But also consider that as the same as the designer sweater from Balenciaga and Adidas, you don't only pay for the high quality that Fragrance du Bois and Demi Rawling are giving you with the bottle presentation and the juice inside. You also pay a little extra, obviously, for the name. I mean, you have a Fragrance du Bois and you have a fragrance created in collaboration with Demi Rawling. So you have two big names in the fragrance industry, and you obviously pay for that as well. That's obvious. This is how it works. This is how business works. I'm gonna let out a bold statement now. In all respect to Demi Rawling and in all respect to Fragrance du Bois. If, for example, a brand like Fragrance du Bois, or let's say Roja, would collaborate together with Jeremy Fragrance, the biggest perfume influencer on this entire world and planet, and the #1 and
Power, strength, craft.
you will pay the double amount for a fragrance that ends up smelling similar like Creed Aventus. Sorry, Jeremy. Because then the marketing is expensive niche brand, well known in the fragrance community, collaborates together with the biggest perfume influencer on earth that has 2 million subscribers, and how many does he have on TikTok? 5, 6, 7 million followers. In all respect to Jeremy Fragrance, I would rather spend $300 on Minuit et Demi than $350 on black tie, for example. I totally understand that $300 is a lot.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
Maybe Demi is actually going to work on decants like 10 mls or 20 mls or 5 mls or whatever. Right now, all I know is that you can get samples at Joeboy from Minuit et Demi that are probably 2 ml. And besides that, you can only buy the big bottle. You can actually smell it in some fragrance stores out there, I think. I think Fragrance du Bois started to spreading it out. Like, for example, here in Zurich there is Oswald. They have Minuit et Demi. I was able to smell it there. So, for me personally, maybe a fresh batch of Minuit et Demi that definitely is weaker than the batch that I have would maybe not be worth $300. Only if I would buy it now for next winter. Only then, because then it had time to maturate in the meantime. I personally purchased this fragrance because I love it. I had a decant of it. I smelled it again in the store and I was like, man, I just need it. I cannot help myself. There are some alternatives out there that smell similar, like Changing Constants from Pan Elegance. and Magnesia Tanzania. You will see the bottle right here. I'm gonna blend it in here. From Armani Privé. The thing is, comparing them to Minuit et Demi, I am just not happy with what I got from there, because the Armani Privé is actually more expensive than Minuit et Demi and doesn't smell as good as Minuit et Demi in my opinion. Changing Constance is also really nice, but it's actually weaker than Minuit et Demi. Like even the fresh batch, when I had the sample back then, when it was first released, I got it immediately. Like after the release, I saw there's someone selling samples, a private person selling sample, and I got a sample from this person. Even then, it was not really a strong fragrance. It was actually weaker than this one is right now, but still, compared to Changing Constance, I've compared them side by side, Minuit et Demi lasted longer on my skin. So Changing Constance is also very gorgeous, but it's not as long lasting as Minuit et Demi, and it also doesn't smell the same because Minuit et Demi has a coffee note that I really enjoy. Ah, fuck, ist der gut, Mann. Oh mein Gott, man, die Frau, die ist doch krank. Was hat die da für einen Duft kreiert? This was today's video. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and see you next time. Bye bye.
She wanna take the ride. She wanna start this fight.